Thank you for all who came out on this beautiful morning. Yay! This is fantastic. So, despite all the attempts of the evil one to dissuade us, we are here. So Nancy asked me to... is it better? Can you hear me now?
Yeah.
So Nancy asked me to speak a little bit this morning about conscience. And I'd like to start just by each one of us asking ourselves, what is it that has us out here this morning, right? There's lots and lots of things we could otherwise be doing this morning, especially this morning, right? Lots of things we'd rather be doing, but yet we are out here. We got ourselves out of bed. We've raced this weather. Why? What made us overcome the resistance to be here this morning? What I would suggest is it comes down to a duty that we feel. We are compelled to be here this morning. We are compelled to stand up to the injustice that we feel. So let's take a look about how that happens in us. How do we go to develop this sense of duty within us? It's really our sense of freedom, our free will, that leads us to choose. Right? Our choices, thank you. Our choices are open to our free will, and it's our free will that then executes judgment. Our intellect is what appeals, our mind appeals to some objective form of decision making, and that happens by our conscience. Our conscience is that sense where our intellect appeals to some higher values. And I'm talking about values that are real, values that are objective, not subjective, values that are universal, that are true for everyone, values that are unchanging, values that are absolute. These values we know. The reason we're here is because we know that this is an injustice, that innocent life is being threatened, and that innocent life deserves and demands to be protected at all costs, and that abortion is gravely evil no matter the circumstances, no matter the intention. Now, we as Christians, or maybe non-Christians, can come to that perspective from different points, but we can all come to that perspective. We know it's the dignity of the human person that underlies this meaning. The fact that we're created in God's image and likeness is what underscores our belief. And by appealing to this universal truth, we can act. Our act of the will overcomes whatever obstacles there might be, and that's what brings us out to the sidewalk this morning, despite all the obstacles. So it's our conscience appealing to objective values that are outside of us that helps us make this determination. Now, this is true for direct actions, like getting in the car and coming here this morning, but it's also true for indirect actions. Okay? Indirect actions are the actions that, sometimes don't directly lead to something, but somehow can unknowingly support or allow, contribute to the process of abortion or the process of gravely evil actions in our world. So what I'd like to look at is that form of what we call cooperation in ethics. Cooperation is, again, a form of contributing to evil, though not directly, either in support of, or sometimes not even in support of, a gravely evil purpose. Okay? So what I would suggest is that we challenge ourselves this 40 days campaign to reflect internally on our sphere of influence, the people that we're around day in, day out, the people that we work with, the people that are our friends, even in our family members, to look very closely at what we may or may not be contributing to, or what others around us may be contributing to. How can we encourage them to examine their conscience the way that we have that allowed us to respond to the duty to be out here on the sidewalk this morning and to stand up for this truth in the next 40 days, to really to do that deep reflection in meditation and prayer to help us find those areas where we can make small differences that can go to long ways to make differences in this culture of death that we're facing. To be prepared always to give a defense for the reason of the hope that is in us, but always to do so with charity, hope, and love. Thank you for your attention.
Thank you.